Hi everyone! Welcome again to my channel, Math is Fun channel. Again, this channel is an educational channel to help you understand your lessons in mathematics. This is also intended to those who are doing the online classes out there. Hello! And also those who are answering their modules. This will help you understand and develop the concepts that you should have to develop in mathematics. It's that exciting? Yes, that is so exciting. And please do share this video discussion to your friends, especially those who are struggling in mathematics, because this video discussion will help them realize that math is not really a difficult subject, but it's easy, fun, and interesting. And aside from that, this will also help them improve their performance in mathematics. So that is so exciting and a very nice advocacy in life to share your learnings about mathematics to those who are struggling. Try to imagine the world where every people will love mathematics. So that is a very nice world to think about. Okay, so please do not forget to share and subscribe my channel. And of course, please continue watching and support my video discussion. So let's now proceed to our discussion in this video. Okay, are you ready? I know you're all ready. So let's now bring it on. So our topic will be about solving radical equations. So as you can see, these are examples of radical equation. So uh, an equation involving with radical sign, of course. So that's why we call it radical equations. So to define, a radical equation is an equation that contains a radical, obviously, as I have said a while ago, an equation that has radical sign or symbols. So that means, or that is that is considered rather as radical equation. So sorry. Again, as I said, radical equation is an equation that contains a radical. Example, square root of x minus 3 is equal to 4. So that is an example of a radical equation. So now, did you ever notice how much sense mathematical definitions usually make? Okay, the goal in solving radical equations is the same as the goal in solving most equations. Again, the goal in solving radical equations is the same as the goal that we have in solving most equations. Just like the square root of x minus 3 is equal to 4. You are solving for your x. So same goal, solving for the value of your variable. So do not be confused about solving radical equation. That is just the same as how you solve most equations. However, we just have to, you know, we have to remove the radicals so that we'll be able to solve and find the value of your variable or variables. So we need to isolate the variable as I mentioned. We have to find the value of your x. So we really have to isolate the variable. So, but there is only one way to move the variable out from under the square root sign. What is it? How? We need to square the radical equation. So square both sides of the equation to eradicate or remove the radical sign. So, and another thing also, because it is an equation, what we do to one side. As I have said, you have to include the other side by squaring it, or you have to include in squaring both sides. So what we do to one side, we have to do it to the other side. That is what I meant. So square, so since you want to square the left side of the equation, then square also the right hand of the equation, or right side rather, not the right hand, the right side of the equation. So as you can see, 4 squared. And then after that, you can now simplify, or we have to simplify. So from the square root of x minus 3 is x minus 3. So we can now remove the radical. So we have it. Remember, we apply this concept, the square of the square root of n is equal to n, no matter what n is, even if n is an expression. So we have x minus 3, which is equal to 16. 4 squared is equal to 16. So x minus 3 is equal to 16. We have to use the addition property of equality in order to remove your negative 3 in the left side of the equation. So you have to add both sides by 3, or the other students rather will use the transposition method where you transfer negative 3 to the right side of the equation, and that will change its sign into positive 3. So you will just add 16 plus 3, and that gives you 19. So solve for x now. Well, sir, a while ago it's only one radicals, but this time there are two radical symbols. So that is exciting to solve. So step number one, we have to simplify the expression. So we all know that they have the same radicand, x plus 3, or square root of x plus 3 rather. So we can just add their coefficients, 3 and 4. So yes, as I have said, since they have the same yes, a radicand. So you will just copy it. Square root of x plus 3. And then you will just add 3 and 4, as you can see, which is equal to 28. Now solve for x. So before you can solve for your x, you have to isolate the radical. So there is 7 as its coefficient. So what will you do? You will divide both sides of the equation by 7 to remove 7 and to isolate the radical symbol or expression rather have that has a radical. So you have it square root of x plus 3, which is equal to 4, since 28 divided by 4 is 4. Next, you have it there, square root of x plus 3 is equal to 4. So you have to square both sides again to remove the radical. Same method as how we do it in the first example. So you have it, square both sides of the equation, both sides of the equations, yes, of the equation rather. So we have it, x plus 3 is equal to 16. Then you are going to solve for your x in the equation that we left, that we have rather, that we have now. X plus 3 is equal to 16. So again, you can just transpose 3 to the right side. That gives you 16 minus 3, or you can use the subtraction property of equality. So solve the equation. So subtraction, or applying the subtraction property of equality. So subtract both sides of the equations by negative 3 to isolate your x. So your x now is left on your left side of the equation. On the left side of the equation, rather. So you have it, x is equal to 13. So I want you to try this one. Sorry, advance. Solve for x in this given equation. 6 square root of 2x minus 3 minus 13, sorry, is equal to 18. So solve for x. Of course, we have to isolate your radical. Yes, expressions having radicals. So we divide both sides of the equation rather by 6. So remove 6. What I mean, cancel 6. 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. That's why you obtain with the step number 2 as square root of 2x minus 13 is equal to 3. Next, square both sides, both left and right sides of the equations. Square it to remove the radical. So you have it 2x minus 13, and 3 squared is equal to 9. Then isolate your x by what? By transposing your negative 13 to the left, to the right side of the equation, and that gives you plus 13. Or you can apply the addition property of multiplication. So that gives you 2x is equal to 22. Then again, isolate x. There's still 2 as its coefficient. It must be 1. So divide both sides rather of the equation by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is x, and 22 divided by 2 is 11. Therefore, x is equal to 11. Okay, what about this example? Solve for x. So as you can see, there are like radicands, correct? Like radicals rather, since their radicands and indices are the same. Look at square root of 5x plus 5. So just copy it and then just subtract their coefficients. 2 minus 5 is negative 3, which is now copy the radicand, yes, and also the radical that we have, like radical that we have. Negative 3 squared of 5x plus 5 is equal to negative 15. Then divide both sides by negative 3 to isolate the radical expression. So you have it square root of 5x plus 5, since negative 15 divided by negative 3 is equal to positive 5. Then we will square both sides of the equation to make it, or to isolate, what I mean to eradicate or remove the radical. So that gives us 5x plus 5 is equal to 25. Then isolate x, transpose 5, that gives you negative 5. We're applying the subtraction property of equality. Then you have it 5x is equal to 20. Then isolate x to solve for your x. Then divide both sides by 5 to isolate x. So we have it x is equal to 4, which is our final answer. Easy, right? So that's it. That's how we end up with our lesson in radical or solving radical equations. I hope you have learned something in this video discussion. Radicals are just like one thing that I would like to say or to tell about radicals or to you about radicals. Don't judge the book by its cover. Okay, same with radicals. It seems like, or it's, yeah, it looks like difficult, but it's not really difficult to solve. Okay, so that ends our discussion about solving radical equations. I hope you get something about radical equations, and I hope there's something that you have learned in this topic that really eradicate your concept that math is not a difficult subject, because it's not really difficult. It's easy, fun, and interesting. Always remember, the essence of mathematics is not to make simple things complicated, but to make complicated things simple. So please do not forget to subscribe my channel. If you did not subscribe it yet, please do subscribe and share this one to your friends out there, because that is a big help for them to understand this lesson. So see you in my next video discussion. Please keep on supporting my video discussions or my channel, because you will make your day productive. Okay, so have a good day. Thank you for listening.